All right, so Clandestino. The job has like a dual lit reverse glow cabinet plus a non-illuminated blade. So I went ahead and broke the blade up into its own file, and I did that real quick because that one's a little easier. I'm still chewing on the cabinet, so that's to follow here. So let's go over the blade sign real quick. Here's the lay of the land. So you got your parts. You have the inner frame pieces, and then there's just going to be this outer band for decorative. And then we got the skins and your jigs as usual. And we got these little feet. They'll be island filled down halfway out of 1/4 inch that you're going to weld to the legs. So we've done these before. It's just we haven't done this outer ring. So that's the challenge, is when they want to do a 1/2 inch step when we're dealing with 090 and the brake and stuff. It starts to become surgery with a chainsaw. Our stuff becomes a little big, 10-foot brake and stuff, and 090 to try to do 1/2 inch reveals is tough. And you'd be like, well, why don't we just do 1/2 inch acrylic faces or something? Well, as we know, those will stretch and buckle and break in relation to the aluminum. And then, well, why not just put 1/2 inch solid bar all the way around? Well, you could get in the 45s, right? It's a pain in the butt. It just adds so much weight. So we're going to fabricate those, but that's why I just wanted to go over sort of how I saw it happening. So we're keeping these a true 1/2 inch, which again makes it kind of tough to clamp, but I'm pretty sure this is only 4 feet. I'm pretty sure the brake will handle it. You'll be able to get in there. So you're just going to make these little C channels. You're going to make an internal and an external. And it's right at the bleeding edge, pun intended, of being able to clamp and hold that. But hopefully it works for you. And then the idea is that you're just going to put a bunch of Lords into the bigger piece right down in here, and then just squish this down in and let it squish. And I got a little bit of room there. And you're just going to sort of make these 1/2 inch little bars, basically. And then those bars will reference to the holes that are in the actual frame itself. Now, with this bar in the way here, you can't get I was thinking you do a rivet, but with that in the way, you can't really get there. And I purposely made this one a little bit long to help align, so when you go to put this cap on, it'll snug up inside, and that'll help self-align it. So anyway, so you can kind of figure out how to do it. You make your frame like we do, and then you can maybe just Lords these pieces on once you kind of create that overall piece. And then maybe if you can get a screw in there, or you just hold it with Clecos and Lords it really well. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. But anyway, that's the idea. And then once you have it sort of coated with that little 1/2 inch bar there all the way around, a little step, then you're going to slide in your feet. You'll have the reference kisses on the inside. So this flange goes up. You'll have your reference kiss there, and you just line it up, burn it to it like we do. And then I'm seeing a 1/2 inch aluminum nut on this side. So so even if you don't do the all thread for paint, but you can just do like a bolt anyway to hold it in place, go ahead and do your aluminum nut. And then you're just going to go ahead and counter tighten when you're all done and ready to go. You're going to counter tighten a steel nut against that. And remember, it's sort of it's closed off. So there's no access after you do that. So you want to make sure this stays, counter tightened and it's tight. Or maybe even do another aluminum. Maybe that's what you guys do. You could do, aluminum welded to this, put your all thread through, double nut an aluminum to that. And then you can tack the aluminum together so it never ever comes undone. Because once that's all said and done, you can't access it again. Anyway, feet plate, they go on there, boom, burn them all the way around. There is no nut here. It's going to go through the I-beam. And then I went ahead and brought these in. This for install. Make sure install gets this. And or if Jonathan, if you're watching this, or any install guys, I brought in some slant washers in case it's truly a structural I-beam. So that way you can clamp that I-beam properly without if it's on an angle. So keep an eye out for these. They are in the McMaster order. I also brought in, they had 2.5 foot. They had 30 inch all thread, because I know you guys usually cut it anyway, but 2 foot was too short. So I brought in some 30 inch all thread. So just you'll be able to capture all that just right. So anyway, it's like what we've done before. Just a couple of things I wanted to point out, but just do the best you can with this little 1/2 inch step. Again, I know it's not ideal, And it's tough when we're making these signs. You know, it's easy to make that in Corel. It's easy to just make like a little pretty band around it, but there's multiple ways. You could even try to do, I was thinking you could try to do just a 1/2 inch face where you bend it, make a solid 1/2 inch face, but then you start tacking in the ends and they get bubbly here and you got to try to bondo that edge. And then you're worried about how to try to get this to sit on there properly and lords underneath with another piece of angle and all that stuff. So there's multiple ways to do this. I figured the strongest, again, would be to just make these little bands that go all the way around, and that's it. So anyway, I think that's it. You get your 23 and 5/8 there, square tube. So anyway, yeah, it's just a blade sign, and the cabinet's coming up. Oh yeah, keep these corners clipped. The clipped side goes up. They are slightly directional for the middle, but any of these little chamfered edges, they just kind of point up. So anyway, yeah, I think that's it. So cabinet's coming up, but that's it for that.